Evolution doesn't follow a script. Sometimes, its path unfolds with a sense of logic, almost inevitable. But at other times, nature defies expectations, overturning millions of years of progress in ways no one could have predicted. Like when a creature perfectly adapted for land abandons it entirely, returning to the ocean and transforming into something almost unrecognizable. This is the strange evolution of whales. As most of you already know, Earth's first and only ecosystems were in the oceans. When life was confined to water, the planet was a completely different world. A barren, lifeless landscape, more alien than anything we know today, much like Mars. The earliest known life forms emerged long before the formation of Pangaea, around 3.5 to 4 billion years ago, when Earth was mostly an ocean world with scattered volcanic islands. It wasn't until about 470 million years ago that the first plants, like mosses and liverworts, began creeping onto land, followed by arthropods like scorpions and millipedes. But the most pivotal moment came between 370 and 360 million years ago, when some fish dared to venture beyond the shallow waters. Among them was Tiktaalik, a fish with lungs and sturdy fins enabling it to move on land. These creatures paved the way for amphibians, reptiles, mammals, and ultimately, us. For 300 million years, life pushed further onto land, evolving into ever more specialized terrestrial forms. But then, evolution reversed course. A wolf-sized mammal turned its back on solid ground and slipped into the shallows. In just 10 million years, this land mammal transformed into the largest creature to ever exist. This was Pakicetus, the unlikely ancestor of whales and other cetaceans. It lived 48 million years ago in what is now Pakistan, a region that once had a warm coastal environment with many seasonal rivers and streams. Pakicetus fossils were found in sedimentary rock layers that were once part of these ancient river systems. From these fossils, we know that Pakicetus was mostly a land-dwelling mammal, but its preferred food was in the shallow waters. It had pointed, serrated teeth and elongated skull ideal for gripping and tearing flesh, indicating a fish-eating diet. Pakicetus had adaptations that made it an effective hunter in water. Its high-set eyes allowed it to peer above the surface, but what truly set it apart was hidden deep inside its skull. Its ear structure contained an early adaptation for hearing underwater, one of the first signs of its lineage's future beneath the waves. But life, on the margins of land and water, wasn't without challenges. Hyaenodonts, the dominant predators of the time, may have competed with, or even preyed upon, Pakicetus, given their significant size difference. Pakicetus was an evolutionary dead end. It was part of an early experiment in whale evolution, but its lineage did not survive. Yet the story of early whales was far from over. The ancient Tethys Sea stretched across what is now the Middle East and South Asia, creating warm, shallow coastal waters rich with life. And where there is opportunity, evolution follows. While some of the first cetaceans were still tied to land, another group was evolving in a different direction. This was the Ambulocetus, a mammal better suited for life in the water, with limbs adapted for swimming. From their wolf-like ancestors, they took on a new form, one that looked less like a terrestrial hunter and more like a crocodilian ambush predator. At around 10 feet long and weighing up to 770 pounds, Ambulocetus was no small predator. It had strong, weight-bearing limbs, allowing it to walk more effectively than a crocodile, even though its movements were still somewhat clumsy. Ambulocetus didn't just look like a crocodile, it hunted like one too. Lurking beneath the surface, it lay in wait, ready to strike at unsuspecting prey near the shore. But Ambulocetus was not a sleek swimmer. It paddled with its limbs, twisting its body through the water, much like an otter. Over the next few million years, its relatives became even more suited for life in the water. Yet, they were still tied to the land, coming ashore to give birth. Then, at last, came the point of no return. 40 million years ago, whales had fully left the land behind, and leading the charge was Basilosaurus, a true sea monster. At up to 60 feet long, it dwarfed its ancestors. Its body was long and eel-like, stretching serpentine through the water. It had a narrow skull, lined with razor-sharp teeth designed to seize and shred its prey. Small, flipper-like forelimbs helped in locomotion, while at the back of its body remained a relic of its past, tiny, useless hind limbs. Fossilized stomach contents show it preyed on sharks, fish, and even smaller whales. It ruled the prehistoric seas with no equal. Basilosaurus reigned supreme, but its time was limited. As the world changed, so did whales. The era of the giants was fading, giving way to a new kind of whale, one that wouldn't rule by brute force, but by efficiency. With time, these whales became more social, more specialized, and more adaptable. And from them emerged the two great lineages that still dominate the oceans today, the baleen whales and the toothed whales. They were no longer just hunters, they became consumers, shaping entire marine ecosystems. This shift, from active hunters to massive ocean grazers, was the final step in their journey. Today, whales are the largest creatures to have ever lived, ruling the oceans not with teeth and power, but with efficiency and scale. Even today, whales continue to evolve, adapting to a world that never stops changing. But how they became the giants of the ocean, that is a story for another time. Thanks for watching, and if you found this journey into the past fascinating, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below.